at the stone pick. So we're just going to do the lift, the initial lift of the at the stone today. So with that, think of almost like the equator of the ball. We're going to stand over that, over the stone where the equator lies, each ankle kind of at each end of it. You're going to then squat yourself down, hands underneath. You want to try and get your hands as deep underneath as you can, obviously without squishing them. Spread your fingers. There's multiple ways you can kind of get your hands underneath. Personally, I just spread my fingers, but some people like to kind of do the Spock, as it's called, underneath, just to kind of spread their fingers, get a little deeper. After that, you have to really hug the ball tight. You're going to use a hell of a lot of forearm kind of gripping, which means if you don't have that grip on, you are going to find the stone slips, kind of grazes your forearm. Once you've gripped it tight, what we're going to do is just look to stand. You might find your hips whip up. You use a lot of lower back. It's kind of the nature of the movement. Do try to make sure your legs stay involved as much as you can. Once you finish that pick, we're going to stand as much as we can. Obviously, there's a big ball, so it's hard to stand vertical like you would in a deadlift. It's going to kind of carry me forward a little bit, just given the nature of the object. Once I've stood as fully erect as I can, I'm going to drop the ball to the crash mat. So make sure you've got a crash mat when you're doing this movement. I'm going to follow the stone down with my hands to make sure when it hits the mat, it's not going to go anywhere else. When you are setting this up in the gym, make sure you're in a sensible spot. This probably isn't very sensible, unless it's a quiet session, of course, but out of the way, we're not going to hit anyone or anything with the stone. So this is what it all looks like. I'm stood right over the ball. I'm going to spread my fingers underneath. I'm going to try and get as far down as I can with my hands. Grip tight, hug. We're just going to do the pickup, follow with hands. Let it roll off and repeat. So once again, I'm over the equator, each ankle at each end. Bury the hands underneath, grip tight, use those forearms, and then we're going to drive with the legs, stand and drop, like so. And that is the at the stone pick.